Hello everyone and welcome to ESL Challenger Europe. My name is Lacey. That is B-Dog over to the right of me, left of me, one of my sides. And we're here to guide you through all the V-Stream action today. Hope you're having a lovely day. Hope you're having a lovely day, Random.
Yeah, look, I'm pleased to be here. I'm excited as well because this is a really good matchup to kind of set the tone. Just kind of, I not quite coming out the major, but almost coming out the major for some of these teams. And obviously, we're waiting for the playoffs to happen. So in the meantime, we've got a really good game that we can bring you as well. And I'm excited because this means a lot for both of these teams, especially when you take a look at kind of the group and the schedule that we've got coming up. If we can pull up the groups, actually, it'd be great to see where these two teams lie, because Apeks right now doing really well. And these aren't standings, these are just kind of what's happening in each group, who's participating. Apeks is definitely above Forze. In fact, Apeks are sitting at the top of their group right now. Forze, they've not had the best start. They've not won a single game. But with that being said, they've been doing very well recently, which makes it all the more exciting for this one.
I think Paravision might be slightly above Apeks because they've had.
Yeah,
I think they've played all their games so far, whereas Apeks haven't played all theirs yet. So
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, just because of the scheduling with the RMR and all the rest. But yeah, Apeks are obviously, when we look at these teams, when we look at all four of these groups, I think Apeks, Saw, Monty, these teams kind of stand out as kind of the big names. And I feel that in this group in particular, Apeks should be the favorite, although Paravision have certainly shown that since this team has come together, they're a real contender to push through to the top of this kind of league under Jerry's leadership. But Apeks, fresh out of the major cycle, obviously going to be a little heartbroken about their final results there. But I think in terms of who is on this team, the talent they have expectations to go far here.
Yeah, of course. And look, we can actually see these standings now. So yeah, you're right. Look, Paravision have played all of them. They've won all of them. I'll be honest, that really surprises me, but I've been impressed with how they've been performing. Apeks sit 1-1. Obviously, the only loss being to Paravision. Forze are yet to hit the ground running, but they've got plenty more opportunities to do it. It doesn't really matter, I guess, in terms of where you finish in these groups, because ultimately you're making it through to the playoffs bracket in some respects, but obviously the higher you finish up, the less games you have. So that's going to be playing more on the mind of a team like Apeks, who are receiving a lot more of these invites. For Forze, though, obviously, when you take a look at how they should be performing, I expect them to be towards like the middle of the pack, and they haven't got really too much to climb in the grand scheme of things. Like, some of these teams have only really played one game. So I look at this game for Forze. I think if they can bounce back, if they're able to beat Apeks, and that'll give them confidence just for the rest of the group as well.
Yeah, they've got games against Apeks and against Team Space coming up, so definitely an opportunity to end a little bit higher on the rankings. The way it works, if you're not familiar, is that essentially there's 6 teams in each group, and if you're in the top 2, you go to the high seeding bracket, the middle 2, the middle seed, and the bottom 2, the low seed. And obviously, the higher you are, the less chances you get to be, more chances you have to avoid elimination from Challenger League. It's a curious format. We've gone through a few different iterations of Challenger. It makes sense when you see it all laid out in front of you. But yeah, I think once you got your head around it, it all clicks. But for Forze, they kind of need these last 2 wins if they want to avoid the low seed group.
Yeah, I think the way you frame that is pretty perfect. You get more lives the better you do in the group stage, I think's the takeaway. And I think we can look kind of into both of these teams at the moment and the trajectory that they're on in terms of what's been happening. But what I will say is that Apeks have been doing well against European opposition. That's what they're used to. When you take a look at their performance in the major, the only teams they lost to were South America. So you can kind of say, okay, stylistically, maybe that's not good for Apeks, but ultimately, I don't think that should affect them all too much, because the results they've been having against European teams have been pretty good. And you normally expect the caliber of European teams of that to be higher than those kind of in South America. However, the major's been proving us wrong pretty consistently, and that's been very cool to see. Let's take a look at the schedule as well, because this isn't the only game going on today in Challenger League. This is the one going on right now in Apeks and Forze. And then Monte versus System 5. That one is coming up a little bit later on in the evening.
Yeah, I think on the A stream, we've got the ECL for the Asia region going on. So plenty of ESL Challenger League action across the board. But yeah, a lot of big names breaching the server today. But yeah, I think Apeks Forze is the more exciting of these two. Not gonna lie, when I saw the matchups, I thought this is a bit of a banger in a time where we've got this sort of lapse before the major kicks back off with the playoff stage, and it just feels like this is a really sleeper game during this week because we're kind of painted the picture. Everyone knows Apeks. It follows this team that's come together, branding with it's a lot of really young talent that I think there's some names in there that I think people are familiar with, but a name that I think we're going to keep an eye on throughout this matchup, and one that is definitely going to be on people's radars over the next year, 2 years, is going to be Gokushima.
Yeah, no, for sure. And look, he's been fantastic ever since coming into this lineup. Also, just take a look at the names that are also playing in this lineup. As you mentioned, Xiaofi, who's moved over to an IGL role, which has been, I think, a little bit controversial. I think that's very fair because when he was playing under Jerry, he was one of these guys that would create a lot of space. He would have a lot of the star roles, and then moving him out of that position in which he was thriving into more of an IGL and having that responsibility has been interesting, but has also been pretty good. I've actually been pleasantly surprised with the output we're getting out of Xiaofi. Tanir's another name that has been just very consistent, been playing in the tier 2 space for quite a while, played under Webster's before joining Forze, and was one of these players where you kind of see him moving on, and I think he's found a good home in Forze as well. The thing that I think is interesting is when we take a look at this roster, not 100% sure if Kellyan is going to be playing or whether it will be Celta. If Celta is playing, and that I will say that Forze have got an even higher chance against Apeks, because since coming in and standing in for this roster for quite a while, Celta has just been fantastic. Obviously coming over from Aurora, has got a new sense of responsibility in this team. And it's been awesome to really see him progress because he was showing some really good signs of form. Aurora kind of went for a little bit of a downturn. Celta was getting a brunt of kind of I'd say the lion's share of the responsibility in the community. And he's moved over to Forze. He's got some new roles and he's been playing really well.
Yeah, I do feel that Celta is going to be the 5th in this match. I think that's maybe a slightly outdated graphic because I think they've been playing consistently with him last month or so. So I imagine it will be Celta in the mix. And I guess Apeks, you should all be familiar with this team, but I guess the highlight really for me over the past this year has been Jacob. It feels like he is playing at his highest level for some time, which has really lifted the team. I think that's what got them through the RMRs so successfully. Nork has maybe been a little bit inconsistent, which has been a part of their struggles, particularly I felt during the the opening stage of the major. They changed the names of all the stages. So, but yeah, I feel like that was part of maybe some of their struggles. I think also having a new IGL in Sense, right?
Yeah, for sure. Like, it's always going to be teething troubles, especially when Sense has gone from Apex Rebels to Apeks, has got the coach that has moved over with him, so you kind of expect some of the synergy to still be there, but ultimately that was the biggest competition for Apeks. They also had a lot of just on them, and that's where it gets interesting. Before we dive too much into Apeks and kind of break them down a little bit further, a player to watch, we did already mention his name, but Gokushima, you got to talk about him, and we'll be kind of revisiting his stats. It's kind of the way this new segment works, guys, is that we pick one player, which is before the series, and we'll see how we'll get on, and then we'll update you with kind of all the stats. For me, Gokushima is that player to watch out for. Again, young talent. CIS region produces just a multitude of them, but this is now the newest name to kind of post up these ratings, and he's looked very good on the AWP, which has been very difficult to kind of achieve in CS2 as well. So the fact that he's molding to this game immediately, it shows signs of worry for Apeks. But what I will say is if Forze want to win this game, they're going to need Gokushima to step up.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that head-to-head is one that I'm very interested in between him and Nork. I think, as I was kind of alluding to, I had a bit of a coughing fit there, so thanks for kind of taking that for me, Radam. I feel that Nork has been a little inconsistent. He's, I think, over the last year has been a big part of Apeks' success. It's been him and Jacob as the stars on this team, but I feel that he's been struggling a little bit in some big games, which is a little bit concerning for this team. And I think also Sassanito, he's a player that we know can take over games when he's feeling it. But again, another piece that maybe I think even losing Kixin from this team has definitely impacted him individually.
Yeah, well, look, the conversation piece with Sassanito and Kixan was always that in Blue Jays, it was Assassinito, it was Kixan, it was Aid Kit to a certain extent, but the main piece of the puzzle was Kixan getting the best out of his players. And it's been kind of a trait that him and like Shuhei shares from Mouse, where it feels like whichever pieces they have, they get the best output out of them. You can kind of see that with Kixan in Heroic. So Apeks have really been struggling with that. I feel like Assassinito needs a lot of direction and needs a lot of trust in his in-game leader, something that he's not necessarily going to get immediately from the likes of Sense, because he is still new and he is still adapting to these roles. So I think it's a very interesting, just kind of dynamic. You've got Apeks who are looking to bounce back after the major with a win here. You've got Forze where you look at this is the best time to kind of play Apeks. You qualified through to the Indian tournament that's gone on as well, the Sky Masters, and you're feeling very good. We're going to go to a short break. When we come back, it's going to be Apeks taking on Forze.
And we're back and ready to jump into the game very shortly. But first, Brandon, we talk a little bit about the Veto, our expectations. What do you think will come out here?
Look, there's interesting ways in which this could go. I anticipate that Apeks will probably either pick Anubis or Ancient. This is what the map we've seen out of them every single time these two teams play against each other. For Forze, you can punish here. I'd like to just see Overpass from them, to be honest, but that might be floated through as a decider potentially. So if you're Forze, you kind of want to get tricky with it, especially because you're the underdog coming into this game. I'd like to see Inferno. I feel like despite the win rate for Forze on Inferno, I feel like the way they approach the game is actually very good, and I feel like their ceiling is just a lot higher. But I guess if we jump into it, then potentially that's actually not going to be the case. Mirage is something I didn't expect. One thing I imagine Apeks didn't expect whatsoever. The win rates for both of these teams are terrible. Apeks have not won this in 8 times a try-in.
Oh my god, yeah.
But with that being said, I actually think that Inferno is a better punish pick for Forze despite this, because they have not been looking good on this map either. Their win rate is not flattering when you take a look at it. Sure, all of the games have been close. I don't know. I feel Inferno would have been better here.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. But yeah, maybe Forze have seen that 0% win rate. They've seen they haven't picked up a win at all this year, and they think, all right, we're going to continue trying to punish there. But that could backfire, because you're right.
Yeah.
Inferno does feel like it could have been a stronger punish. So who knows? Forze definitely would have been prepping, ahead of this, knowing their opponent, knowing what the Veto should look like. But Ancient, I feel that Apeks should have that one every day of the week. Definitely a map that it's one of their stronger maps alongside Anubis, as you mentioned, and Forze, not their greatest either. So I feel that should definitely be a win. Overpass is an interesting one as a decider though, because again, it's a map that I feel like Apeks used to be traditionally quite strong on, but they have been struggling as of late. So yeah, I think if we go to the decider, that's all up in the air.
No, but if it goes to I'll paint it like this. If it goes to the decider, Forze win the series.
Okay.
If Forze lose Mirage, we're looking at a 2-0 for Apeks. That's kind of honestly the way it goes. I feel like actually all hinges on Mirage. Just when you take a look at like the confidence of both of these teams in the map pool, I feel like it makes sense that Apeks would pick into Ancient or Anubis. Surprised it's not Anubis, but maybe they've had enough of Anubis recently, considering the amount they've been playing it at the majors. They kind of wanted to change the scenery. Don't blame them whatsoever. This is cool. It's one of those where it relies so heavily, I think, on Forze winning this Mirage game. If Apeks are able to post their first win of the year on Mirage in this series, then we're honestly looking at 2-0. But if it goes the other way, if the punish pick actually pays off, then we're looking at 3 maps, and I feel like it's those 3 maps in which Forze can take it.
Yeah, honestly, I don't mind when you are such an underdog like Forze in this series, knowing that Apeks is one of the favorites in the group, that you do go for maybe a slightly left field pick in Mirage over Inferno. So yeah, it's definitely going to hinge on that map, which is exciting, because that's also the map that will be kicking off the series. So it means that we'll get an idea of where it's going to go pretty much from the get-go. We'll be jumping into the game very shortly. Before we do, Brian, I guess, with these 2 teams now that we've seen the Veto, which team are you favoring?
Look, we got asked to kind of lock in kind of who we fought before, and I went for Forze. However, looking at the Veto now, I don't actually think, I think they've shot themselves in the foot, and I'm hoping they can prove me wrong. I'm hoping this Mirage is unbelievable from them, but I honestly think Apeks might even do it in 2 now, and I know that's a bold take considering they've not won Mirage in a very long time, but I'm not confident in Forze's Mirage compared to Apeks, because they are the better team. I think that's kind of where I'm looking at it, and that's kind of where I'm trying to stand in. So I will still go with Forze, because I predicted them kind of before we saw the maps, but it's a very lukewarm take rather than a hot one.
Yeah. Well, I do think Apeks take the series. I feel it should be a 2-0. That was the team I put down. You can see there's the predictions right there from when we put them up earlier. Yeah, I mean, Apeks are the favorite team, but also, Jacob used to play with the boys. So as I've said before in the past round, he's an honorary Aussie, so I have to back him and Apeks because of that. But one thing that we kind of sort of touched on, but is something that I think will definitely be a factor for Apeks, is you've come from playing the biggest event of the year, and you've kind of crashed out of it pretty terribly, ruined my pick'ems on the way. That you've just come off the back of that. That's not going to have you in the best mental state, and it's not been long since that happened, right? It's been a week and a half thereabouts. So have they really recovered? Are they a team that potentially is going to make changes on the horizon? There's a lot of questions, right? So that's all going to be weighing on them. And I think because of that mental aspect, I don't know if they'll be bringing their A game to the server for a little bit.
It's a fair point, but what I will say in kind of counter to that is, look, these guys are professionals, and you, at some respect, you got to cut out the noise, and you know how valuable Challenger League is when it comes to kind of qualifying and making sure you're maintaining your invites for these events. If you're a team like Apeks, you don't want to now have the rep of, we've bombed out of the major, now we're potentially going down the seeds in our group where they shouldn't be. They should be finishing towards the top. They should be having as many chances to try and qualify through the Challenger League playoffs as possible. So I think there's obviously a lot riding on them, because also if there are roster changes on the horizon, then ultimately this is now a spotlight for all of these players to kind of step up, do their best work as kind of an advert. Hey, look, I'm still playing really well. You should maybe try and sign me, if that even is the case in the first place, because I'm not entirely sure on the dynamics.
Yeah, I think Nork had only recently re-signed, a long-term contract with the org. So, we know this project has got legs and they're going to be committed to it for the future. Yeah, because we know that the talent is there. We've seen them with their runs at the majors in the past, that they've got what it takes. I mean, we saw it right at Paris, this organization with its individuals, even though the changes have taken place over time, they've had a few big L's in terms of losing Kixer. I think that really hurt them a lot more than almost any other change that this team has faced, even like JL. I feel that Kixon kind of hurt more recently, given he's out doing pretty well with Heroic. So this team needs to bounce back. We know that the individuals there and the talent is there, but a team like Forze with its very young team with a lot of upcoming talent, they're going to be very hungry for a win against a team like Apeks, right? That would have them feeling super confident for the rest of the season if one of the teams you took down was just at the major.
Yeah, I think so. I think it would do wonders for their confidence as well, heading into these events in which they're qualifying through, and they're such like the Sky Esports Masters, right? I mean, sure, that one's online now, but you're still playing against some very high caliber teams. So this is kind of a little bit of a tester to see how you fare kind of against everyone. But without any messing around, really, Lucy, we are finally here. It's Mirage, the first map. It's Forze with a punish, an absolute curveball to kick off this series. And for their sake, I hope it pays off.
Will Apeks get their first win on Mirage for the year? That's the secondary question we have coming into this. They'll be on the CT side. They'll lean over towards B, but I think it's going to be an A split based on this early positioning. Smoke's going through, not through connector. This is very fast from Forze, but Nork and Sassanito with a great crossfire. The bomb delivered. Shalfie coming out through the windows. This is explosively fast, but it's left with Result as the only remaining member. He has a 1 versus 3 on his hands. They know where he just dropped from. Can't even really collect the bomb.
Yeah, this is tough. And surely he gets removed in just a couple of seconds here. Good layering. Nork's going to take the contact, and then you've got the swing out of Stiko in connector. You've also got Sense in jungle. Like, this should be fine because he can't grab the bomb. It's so far in the open. It's so further removed from the bomb site. This is so difficult. The only way he can win this is if they give him the fights one by one. Unfortunately enough, Sense hits the headshot. That gets very scary for Apeks, and Forze are given a way back in to win that.
Yeah, a little shaky, giving him the 1v1s, the headshot angle over in stairs. You can kind of just run him down, when you're in that position, but they had the bombs, so they didn't feel like they wanted to give opportunities, but did almost. But it's all good. Sense saves today. 3M falls out. Who needs utility? Not Apeks, because you're just against pistols.
What a chaotic pistol round from Forze. Just so much pace. You had the crossfire that was established a little bit later on with Palace, Jungle, with players splitting through connector, but the crossfire initially was just so good from Apeks. Jacob now spotting in the window. Doesn't see anything initially. Finally, gets a sight of these players. Sassanito can also step in, but actually steps straight into the crosshair of Shalfie. Jakem now needs to be careful because although these nades are doing damage, those two M4s that have just been dropped.
All right, Nork's here to clean up. And as long as they can pick up these two M4s, it'll be okay. That's one to be collected. Yeah, all three M4s recovered. So at the end of the day, it's a little scary for a moment when the D comes through on towards Cad, and then you see Jacob get caught in window. But all three M4s get recovered. A couple of MP9 kills for Nork as well. So I wonder if he's considering the AWP into this round. You can see he's not purchased yet. And yeah, he will pick that one up. So we get to see the AWP out for him early. 5-1 start for Nork off the back of the MP9 farming he just achieved. Oh, Stico gets a little swipe from a teammate.
Not ideal. This is aggressive immediately out of Apeks. I like this. They're just being very varied in the way they want to set up. They've let Forze be the dictators of pace over the last couple of rounds. Result has spotted some toes. So he knows his players are locked in, pre-aim, but not quite good enough. Sense will find the opener. Sassanito, full blind by Tanir. And he's able to get that trade, and now Stico is in a world of pain, fully blind, but still surviving for at least one more kill. And the molly's doing trickle damage onto these players. They can rotate over in time now, Apeks.
Extra damage. Nork needs to be careful. This player up on the balcony almost takes him down. Sense tries to step on in, and Jacob, this is the critical flank. Needs to catch this timing on Gokushima. Sense has fallen. And North doesn't want to give this a look in. He just got this AWP. So this is going to be Forze getting on the board, I feel. Jacob doesn't look like he wants to get involved. There's no kit. And you got to say, it's a very heads-up play from Forze to flash forward in towards the apartments. You know, given that there was a deep CT smoke, well, you know, the default CT smoke kind of midway up towards the window, which is there to feign that Sassanito wasn't close in towards the kitchen, but they still throw the flash through. Make sure the Diligent gets them the kill, and they accelerate off it perfectly.
Good timing on that push as well from Forze, because that comes in immediately after contact is taken from ramp, after Sense finds the opening kill. But you're right, it's actually very, very clever for them to anticipate that there's going to be a player up close, especially when the other extremity is being challenged in ramp. So Apeks just kind of spreading themselves a little bit too thin. Normally you'd see Forze reset and go through middle because that would have been the gap. Instead, they just fight forward. And I feel like that's really been the sentiment of the first 3 rounds of play. Forze are more than happy to throw themselves into these gunfights. They've got the belief that they're currently better. And it's that confidence, it's that momentum that we were talking about pre-game that might see them through. A good response. It does leave Tanir on the Mac 10. It leaves utility a little bit limited, but that goes both ways, despite the AWP being saved.
Yeah, you can see Nork's feeling like he has to get involved early, be the one that dictates this round, but Forze going fast. Sassanito's going to drop the smoke just in time. That's going to allow him to play a little bit around empty, looking for this kill. Does eventually find onto Tanir, but Stico fell. Sassanito still runs forward for another. Meanwhile, Nork was dealt with. With Sense being caught, this round is looking done. Jacob is here. Can't quite find Gokushima, though, ready for that aggression. So the pace from Forze is fantastic.
Yeah, shout out Shalfie in that round. Because he's in towards connector, but he's holding it in such a way in which he can already swing and anticipate these players that are going to be looking towards short. Looking over more towards jungle, perhaps, because Forze have been always boosting in the window. So by him playing bottom connector, but just tucked around the corner, he can take the fight on his terms. And he's able to overwhelm Nork, for example. He's only got one opportunity to fire off a shot before he falls. Talked about the money before, and now it doesn't feel great. Neither does that. Huge nades on towards Sense. Utility, this time leading the pack of these Forze players into the bomb site. And it's so clean. Not a single casualty on their way in. And Sassanito, all he can do is watch on and look at the kill feed as it just fills up with his teammates.
Yeah, that was very, very nice from Forze. Very direct, but all very calculated. They're putting a lot of pace into these early rounds on the T side, and even this one, right? They got into mid very quickly. They were at ramp. They were out ramp right towards Tetris super early, but didn't charge on in through the util, cleared the angles. As of such, the Deagles, the Pistols get nothing done, even the little boosted one behind triple. Chalfie can go for a hunt with the Mac 10. Doesn't hurt to.
Interesting dynamic on this, because it's interesting the way that Forze play maps like Mirage and Inferno. I guess like your classic CS:GO maps in which they've been around for so long, they feel a lot more comfortable on, but also they're very direct on these maps. This is why I thought Inferno would have been a good pick for Forze, because they know what they want to do immediately out of spawn. It feels like they're in control of a lot of the gunfights they've been taking. And I feel like actually that's very similar here on Mirage at the moment. Whereas we get into maps like Ancient, like Anubis, and their mid-rounds actually completely change in the way that they play them. It's a lot more slow, it's a lot more methodical. And don't get me wrong, Forze are being methodical on this T side, but it's not with the same level of venom that I'm used to seeing them with. Mac 10 overwhelming JChem is something that should not be happening. And in the blink of an eye, look, they're up short, they're in. Steeko's about to be split on, will survive the first test, needs support from his teammates. Fortunately enough, Nort's rotating in.
Goes down, Resol's gonna slow down. Yeah, this is just blistering.
Yeah.
You blink and you miss these rounds, like the pace they put on. It's a bit unfortunate Jacob loses that duel in mid. He shouldn't be losing that duel.
No.
But what I like from Forze is they've already got Celta out cut this whole time, right? Like the flash comes over and he's just charging on through while the fight comes through in towards middle itself, gets the critical kill on towards the cat player, and then Steeko is on an island between multiple angles. These rounds, that was like the first 15 seconds of the round and it's over.
This is flat from Apeks at the moment. Something's got to give, something's got to change. It won't come into the next round despite the loss bonus. They won't be investing into it. This is incredibly one-sided right now. Fair enough. Currently for Forze, it is looking pretty good to kind of pick this map. It wouldn't... You take a look at the stats on HLTV, you take a look at the win rate that Forze has been kind of adopting in the last few months, and you wouldn't anticipate them to be down this bad on Mirage, because it feels like they're in complete control.
No one ever wants to be down bad. Sense is saved. M4 has a couple of deagles around it. Now Forze slow down a little bit. But they're still taking very assertive control in towards middle. You know what's up with the economy. Although when you play these slow rounds against pistols, that's when it can get scary. Because, you know, you walk into one, you give up a kill. Like that. Even though Steeko's fully blind. Still gets the kill. That's an M4 that gets collected. JChem almost an opportunity. Now you got to stack over towards A where the M4 is. Sense dancing his way back into shadow. Has to back on through. But they are slowly thinning the herd until Nork hits another deek shot. Sense is dealt with though. Sanito would love to pick up one of these rifles. You might get a chance to. You can see one on the steps in front of him, a smoke as well. So AK is his. Oh, this HE blows Celta. Oh, it hits him. But he's just around the corner.
It's not even him that wins the fight. It's Gokushima, which means that Sasanito's got no idea that Celta's in this smoke. But he just walked past him. He wants to take the fight. Gokushima spotted him. This should be the activation point for Celta. Gets the confirmation in the sec that he's in sandwich. And this kill should just be locked in. Gets scary though, as you mentioned, that the slowdown from Forze, it felt like they were funneled in towards A off the back of Steeko hitting that incredible deagle shot. But from there, they felt really forced into where they wanted to go. It does eventually pan out in the 2-on-2 because individual gunfights are given over by Apeks because they're so disjointed, because it feels like they've got the confidence from the rest of their teammates that they've already hit these shots. Potentially we could still disrupt Forze's game plan, which has to now be the focus of attention on this timeout, because playing their own game does not work for Apeks. They now have to be really ready, and they have to respect the rushes that Forze are going to give them.
So Apex's response is they finally will get the rifles back out again, including the AWP for Nork. Just keeping a little bit extra money. No, he does eventually spend that cash. Starting in towards window, getting boosted up in towards ladder. We started to do this 2 rounds prior as well. This time he wants to get an early activation. Player's already crossed though. His flick goes awry. Shelby winning that one out, but Jacob, an immediate kill back into response.
Okay, Sassanito. That damage is just instant.
Ooh, nice.
And Jacob walking in. That's very good. Finally a trade, but so much damage has already been applied, and Sassanito just finishes the job. Much better round out of Apeks, but I'll be honest, the way it started concerned me. Because Nork peeking, that's absolutely fine for him to do that. Wasn't set up with any utility. There wasn't an escape plan if he missed the shot. All of those gunfights felt very individual. JChem winning his in connector. Sassanito doing early damage and then trading. But again, all of these fights, one-on-ones. There was no team cohesion in that round. That was just the individual stepping up.
Nork's going to try the same thing again. Now he started in window, and this time it's dropping towards underpass. Jacob. Celta very low, and Jacob not aware that he could be that far progressed. Oh dear.
Oh dear is right. The comm's just not there. You've got a player that's down under. You've got Sense that finds the opening kill over at ramp, but there's just no communication that they can be scaled. Nork should have gone connector there, because what happens, I think, is that Sense was supposed to be that player that was going to cross into connector, but he actually gets engaged with a fight at ramp, and then that delays his timing, and from there Apeks have got no information whatsoever. It just means you've got these gaps presented. Sure, there's a little bit of damage at the end with Nork finding 1 kill, but that really hurts if you're Apeks. You just won the round. You've immediately lost. You've got no money yet again. You can force into it. I feel like you should force into it, because you've got to be applying pressure back.
Yeah, this is... Yeah, they're taking the Forze. Discuss how they want to approach it. I mean, kudos to Forze for just the unrelenting pace that they're bringing to the table. Because Apeks are almost expecting a more patient Counter-Strike, like a more respectful Counter-Strike. But Forze are showing no respect at all. They're just charging through and catching these timings that you wouldn't expect a team to be getting away with. This
is honestly bread and butter of a team with full confidence versus a team with very little at the moment. And you can kind of, it is obviously reflected kind of in the storylines that we've got. Forze have always been close to qualifying for main events. Finally have got their first berth at a big event that they qualified to with this roster. It's the perfect time to play Apeks, who got blindsided by all the teams in South America at the major. Lots of uncertainty. The expectations was maybe not top 8 again, but at least the elimination stage, at least kind of the quote-unquote legends category for this team. However, not finding it is troublesome. Celta taking damage. It's pretty good opening for Sticko at the very least, and finally there's a little bit of calm, because Forze know the money is not great, and they want to try and avoid, once again, walking into these pistols. They've noted that the rifle is out at B, but it's how they kind of navigate the rest of this round.
Sticko's boost up. Ooh, almost a head reveal. But Spavit should be in a good position for the first and can fall off. Now he spotted players jumping on out, can con that one over, but he's the one with the M4. Sassanito can't get it done with the Deagle. Seeko gets one more, but is traded. Still an advantage. Nork spotted. Nork with the headshot. 2 in this round. And it leaves Celta in the apartments with this all from his back. They know it. Fast fight coming from Jacob. Slots to the AK. Nork's found his own as well. Should be caught any moment by Jacob as he slowly flanks on through. Not going to be saving this AWP today.
Well played from Apeks. Again, we can talk about confidence all we like. We can talk about the mentality that both these teams have got. But ultimately, at the end of the day, the individuals on Apeks are better than those of Forze. And it's weirdly enough been these Deagle rounds, these half-buys that have got a bit of bite behind them, that have actually looked the most competitive. It was nearly, in the previous Forze buy, Apeks were able to make something happen. It just erupted into a 2-on-2 that ultimately Forze are able to win out. This time it converts. This time it's Steeko elevated. You put in the rifle in a powerful position. And then the Deagles are doing a lot of the heavy lifting. Shout out Nork, who hit a banger on towards shore. Which really just scuppered the plans of Forze. It forced them to come only from one direction. It had to all be from B. And from that point, you can activate the flank. You can dwindle the numbers. It's the first pause that's been called in by the T side, finally feeling a result of some of this pressure that has been applied. And to be fair to Apeks, to give them credit, that the fact that this has felt very controlled by Forze at the moment, by this T side, the fact they've already got 4 rounds is a testament to who they are.
Not looking like Forze is slowing down anytime soon. That mini-map,
no,
that space being taken by Tania. He's in ladder room. It's 140. He's already in. Cool
And this
smoke.
is smart.
They can scale pretty quickly.
Yeah, Apeks have always been starting players towards ramp. That's just been confirmed by the Palace push. So the smoke goes for deep connector and jungle, which means you're allowing these players to take this space. This becomes very uncomfortable if you're Apeks, but at the same time, on the D side, what can you realistically do? Not a lot. You're hoping for players to come to you, and that's exactly what happens, except it's an AWP. Finally will be traded, Shalfie reveals himself. But ultimately, you've got control of all of the middle of the map, but you need to fight on towards A. And Sense's pushed ramp even further. They don't know about JChem. They don't know about Sense.
Yeah, I feel like the intention here is just to play as much chaos as possible if you're Forze. Smoke deployed into CT spawn, but they've cleared it out on both sides. I like that response. Jacob now steps in, good for 1 before he's traded. He knew the bomb was in towards middle. Sassanito's going to slip on through. A is very open. Oh, Steeko has a great line. A lot of damage done. Even planting will be tricky now. They'll have to go to CT, but Sassanito now gets activated. Gokushima left with 10 seconds remaining. Would like to do some damage, but not going to find a kill or recovered. And 5 for Apeks.
That's such a classic round of CS in which it's almost unconventional in all the right ways. You typically see teams that will take middle and then won't do anything with the space off the back of it. However, that's not the intention that Forze had. It was just really good reactions, as you mentioned, by Apeks. Pushing into CT, having another player that's just tucked on the bomb site. At the same time, Sense's pushed ramp. You're widening the net, but you're also narrowing the options that Forze really have. And they've got to clear so many angles. Last round of play here in this first half. Look at what they're working with. And despite all of the good starts, Apeks are building back into this game. And it's the best chance they've got to equalize the scoreline as the half is about to end.
This number for Nork, surely good for 1. Can get away with ease. This one's a bit slower out the gate. Control being established. They walked on through. Sassanito, though, going to pop over and C2. A couple of free headshots. Nork finds 1 more. He should be looking for his stack. Gokushima peeks past the angle, and there's Nork's AWP all tied up at the half.
6 rounds each between Apeks and Forze, and now Apeks are on their, I guess, favoured T side. They perform better on the T side, but obviously have not been playing too well on this map. This is a pop. This can be very fast, and these players on site need to deal with it.
Yeah, looking to deal with it. A little bit awkward, but the flashbang over supports him. Seltzer with a double and a triple. He's knocking them all down. Sense trying to fight back. 2 quick kills. Needs 3 more though. Looking for this player on site. Sense has given them an opportunity, but there's a flank coming. Shelfie's going to be in the back lines very shortly. Sense, this is a difficult clutch. He's made it a little bit easier already, but not ready for Shelfie on that flank through. A nice try from Sense, but Celta knocks them all down as they enter.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of, Celta's play really gets overlooked by what just happens there by Sense. Fair play to him to find those 3 kills whilst being completely out in the open. He still finds all these headshots. Wants to give Apeks a fighting chance, leading by example, but not to be. The flashbang came in at just the perfect moment. Contact being taken initially, it brings Apeks further into the site, and then there's that utility. Forze staying alive is everything. And here, this should be pretty clean and easy. Gokushima only on a USP because he wants the AWP immediately.
That was a lot of Glucktings. That was like 2 on the Celta, 1 on the Gokushima, and a couple on the Shelfie. But only the 1 kill found. So Forze with another great start to the half. Apeks get the pistol over and done with quickly. Eco. It's AK Town for the Apeks squad. Very early AWP for Gokushima.
We saw Nork with the same after he was able to get the MP9 kills. Another execute for Apeks. Just looking to test the waters. Weren't satisfied with how the pistol one went as well. Well-timed smoke from Tanir. Only armed with an MP9, and they're going to have to go through all of this utility, but they can't. They're mollied off, they're smoked, there's rotations are here in time. It's Shelfie with the rifle rather than Gokushima with the AWP. Another flashbang, fully blind Sense, but he's still able to find Tanir. Shelfie locked in. They're not peeking him whatsoever. Finally, he activates on the back of another flash. Shelfie with 2 important kills, and Celta turns on the swivel to do a connector.
Jacob need to find that kill now. Gets really uncomfortable. Celta over the top finds 1 more. Sassanito from below, but Resol swings on through. And really, it was that trick up the sleeve in towards triple that gets it done. Also, the clean entry onto the site as well, right? They find Sense, but they're a little early on the plant, I feel, before the site is fully cleared. And yeah, a bit unfortunate for Jacob on that timing as he comes through connector. I feel like he probably should have had that kill, but that swivel was something else.
This is where it gets dangerous now as well. MR12, you lose the pistol, you lose the first gun round, suddenly it looks like the game is basically over. Your economy is in shambles. There's been no bomb plants whatsoever for Apeks. And Forze can potentially just snowball their way into a map win. Right here, right now. At least Jakem's got space in mid. In fact, he's just the only player here. If he can draw some attention, that might enable these players to get in B.
They go fast. Straight on in they go. Resol and Shelfie, 1 apiece. Jacob's dealt with. And this half investment, not getting too much done. Oh, almost. Second kill. Spam. That's an auto sniper, by the way, for Gokushima.
Right.
I don't know. Yeah, I love it. I'm here for it. That's a rarity in professional CS, but
that's a bit BM.
It's a good gun.
It is.
The issue is the AWP is better, right? So, I mean, they've got different use cases, I guess. All right, this is cool. I want to see more of it. Let's get that.
This could be a tilter if he kills Nork. After Nork's just picked up the AWP and then he just dies to an auto sniper. Fortunately, not happening. It's Gokushima in mid instead. And he's not revealed he's got the auto. It's Sassanito actually deals with Shelfie as he looks under. Good nade as well onto Gokushima. But at least they're forcing the control away from this CT side. Sassanito is now hoping that people keep peeking him, because he'll take these kills all day long. This is bread and butter for Sassanito.
Tania doesn't just slip in and out successfully. Resalt's going on a mission. Notice they got the disadvantage. He's hunting. Oh, they're going to come to Gokushima's lair. The auto sniper from Ticket. About to punch a few. They pause. Not committing just yet. It's all gone quiet on the CT side. They're a little bit concerned. Sense goes on an investigation mission into B. See what's going on.
Oh, the timing is everything here. Because Result is walking back. These players are uncomfortable because how do you get this bomb over? Because Sense can call this clear, but ultimately he needs to either find this player, okay, or that could have gone awry. Instead, Apeks can bring the bomb forward. They can plant on the site, and if you go Gokushima, you can reveal, hey, I've got an auto sniper, and I'm going to be saving it.
Yeah, that kind of takes the gusto out of the auto sniper when you have to reveal it just to stay alive. They're hunting it. They don't want this auto sniper in play.
Yeah. It was like $5,000. It's a good weapon to remove.
Operation.
You've just got to play this right.
Keep the auto sniper alive. Oh, he's done for. That's a little sad. Pick it up, Sense. Oh.
No. I like the fact he doesn't. It's based. Oh, you invested all your money into an auto sniper? Oh, well, now it's on the floor. And now you won't have a chance to use it. Because we're not going to give you the satisfaction. At least the auto sniper becomes an A1S at the very least. That's the first round that Forze conceded on the defense. Flusher window smoke. Or throwback.
Last up mid, Resol jumps into Jacob and they are able to get the kill. A deep smoke enabling them to flank on through. Sassanito, he's now going to start hunting, ready for this retreat. And there it is, free for him. Celtic going to step in now. Sassanito can't quite find the kill, so keeps it even. Tees are setting up over towards A. There currently are 2 CTs in wait.
Well timed smoke. Because not only does it enable these players to get close, it also means that Celta, who was in connector, is now just in TV room. He pushed underpass, clears all of this intel, knows that it has to be this A play. So he just tucks into this room just in case Apeks want to come back, in case they're not sure. Forze got all the info, but they need to hold on to the site.
Gokushima is going to have a tough fight, though, supporting Tania here. Molotov's going to come onto Tania's position. And he's going to have to swing. And Sense is just ready for it. Perfectly isolates him. Stiko deals with Gokushima. You call this one an 8. Celta cannot get involved.
That's tough. That's tough for Forze. Because basically what happens there is that they're caught in between 2 minds of revealing themselves by throwing utility or just having the surprise element. They're hoping that Apeks are going to second guess themselves. They're hoping that they're going to go and search for information, very much like they did with Sense in the round prior. Over to B. It was actually Celta that had the smoke, had the flash. So everything just kind of goes against Forze in that round. And Apeks, they execute onto the site brilliantly. They're able just to isolate these kills. There's no chance for a trade because you've got different players from different elevations just causing all kinds of chaos. Despite there being kind of this tussle in towards mid, it ultimately results with Apeks still coming out on top because Forze are very proactive in taking the space back after they lose it initially, and Apeks are really banking on that. And they're just committing into where they know is maybe not safe, but where Forze will have removed one of their members to go and check out the other areas of the map.
So Celta can get down with this AK. It's going to be him against the world. So there is this 5-7. close range. Can do a lot. They try and flash in, and okay, yeah, 5-7 gets work done. Sharpie has armor if this AK can give it over to him. Nope, Result wants to keep it to himself. It does drop it to Gokushima, who didn't have a weapon. No, just drops his pistol. Okay.
That's his AK.
Yeah, he earned it, to be fair. Actually, no, he didn't. He just picked it up.
He earned it. Smoke. Oh, and Result swings. Gives another, and that gives the distraction piece, but Sense on the swivel. Able to adjust and deal with Result, falling out of the window. So all the hard work undone. Stiko in Palace does spot Tanir. He could fall away as well. Gotta remember that Celta did have the sole rifle in this round, and he's over at B. So if Apeks do head there, they'll be in for a nasty surprise.
This is very spread out for Apeks. Celta's going to walk away, though, at the perfect time that Sense walks in. Oh, has he heard that drop?
Loud. Yeah.
Very loud. Hoping to flush this player out, but Celta's playing this well at the moment. Is it going to be revealed? Yes. Sense, Vic lackadaisical in the clear. Celta doing all the work right now, but burnt out. Still finds Stiko, and it's Nork with barely any time left. Needs a 1 versus 2. First kill is his. Time to plant just. And Tanir, who opened up the round, is now on a flank through the apartments. No kit, just needs to catch a timing onto Nork. That's all he can hope for. But Nork isn't ready. That was maybe the opportunity. But now he's known. And Nork can just play around, give him a bit of space to run through. Nork able to close. Nice clutch. And Apeks deal against the pistols. But honestly, for Forze, bringing a single rifle in and a couple of 5-7s, they got a lot done.
Expensive. Ultimately, it is very expensive. Really like the way that Nork plays that clutch. As soon as he gets spotted out at bench, he falls back. And notice how he's always creating this separation. He knows that he's got the weapon. And he's just creating these long-range engagements to feel like he's always in control. Doesn't want to give Tanir any satisfaction of being able to deal the damage up close with the pistol. Just creates a little bit of breathing room. Final timeout now being called as well for Apeks. They won't be happy, in which, as you mentioned, the manner of that round really went down. Sure, they won it, but it came at a very big cost. No AWP for Gokushima is a little bit of a consolation. Nork will still have his uncontested. But this needs to be the conversion. This needs to be the round. Because if Forze win this, suddenly, Apeks eco... Well, in fact, they're probably forced buy-in for the rest of the game. This is a very big round in terms of the ramifications of the longevity of Mirage for Apeks.
They have been struggling this game, but gets a nice opener. Result removed. Celta wanted to try and fight back, but couldn't stick around. Staying fairly active. Stiko has found a kill too on the aggression. Stiko holding against this push from Forze, and that's surely going to be double digits. Surely Apeks equalize off this.
Good find. Celta hanging around. He's been very confident in taking these fights. Probably because of his scoreline. Hoping for a little bit more. We'll get it. The dink and the collection from Gokushima. So a 2-on-3. But Nork, and historically, one of these players from Apeks is always on B at the perfect time. It's going to have to be a save. This will be the conversion for Apeks. This will be the equalization as well.
Still got a little scary.
Oh, absolutely.
Two very clean openers, and then Forze are able to find 2 back. Stiko lucky to be alive. Like, that could have gone horribly wrong. Apeks will take it nonetheless. And Gokushima's actually, you know, we saw the auto sniper come through, but we've not really, outside of the initial AWP that came through in like the 3rd round, he's not really been able to have the impact with the sniper. You know, he was the player we flagged as the one to watch, but on this CT side, not being given his weapon of choice as much as he'd probably like.
He should have had his weapon of choice, to be honest, but instead buys an auto.
Yeah, you can't even say it was a misclick anymore.
No, it wasn't. Yeah, also true, you could just sell it. Thin ice right now for Forze. The good thing for them is that they've got the loss bonus because of the magnitude that this has been one-way traffic for the last few rounds for Apeks. It's been very nice. They've been dealing with a lot of the aggression. It hasn't been the same pacey, punchy nature that we saw Forze bring to their T side. However, that might change in this round. Early smokes, top mid, window, double boost. For B, Gokushima goes straight into the guillotine Assassinito.
That's brutal. It's one of your weapons as well. Although, Shelfie trying to get... Oh, no. That actually backfired completely. He had an MP9 and he tried to throw the MP9 to grab the M4 to get out with it and he lost both. Okay, he was able to get the MP9 back. Only because he got aggressive. That's so funny though.
That sucks. That really sucks if you're Forze.
No.
That's so funny though. Well played from Assassinito. Everyone's even juggled the weapon out. And now it's just patience. Now it's just finding these players. Once you get the confirmed intel, you should be able to lock it in. And they can. 11 rounds plays 10. Gokushima has enough money to buy the AWP. Forze take a pause. I want to see them fight mid.
Oh, that rhymed really nicely. Oh, double off. Okay.
Okay.
I mean, Shelfie's having a game, so...
Now they're probably not fighting mid. I'd like to have seen them maybe just push the issue. We've seen it with MP9s, but that was a limited utility. I think what's been interesting when you take a look at the CT side is that Forze have been very... It's like they got ants in their pants because they don't stay still. They're always looking for new areas of the map to take. They're always looking for these scraps of information. But because they're doing it so consistently, Apeks are just sitting back. And they're punishing round after round after round.
Yeah, some of these things that worked really well on the T side, but is absolutely in the punishing the CT side. And I wonder if part of that's just a side effect of being such a young team, right? With a new IGL in this role. Who's also very young, right? I think he's like 21.
Yeah.
The patience is virtue. As Apeks demonstrating. Although, Shelfie, patient on the angle with that secondary ult, does get the opening kill. A 5 back in towards middle. Celta wins it out just about. Nork slips in for 1 back in response. Would have loved to play with a bit more HP to take down, but you take a kill.
He knows. He knows they're pushing him. However, will he expect this? Gokushima is through ramp and... Oh, thanks for playing.
That's crazy. Who pushes with a AWP through ramp solo?
I'm not sure, but Shelfie on this angle is pretty good, unless he gets cleared by Stiko. It's a hard clear now in CS2, this angle on the bench. Oh, that's a bait. He's trying to get him to go and peek. But he won't, and that's the bomb.
Reset walks in. Nork. 1v3 again, and Tania knows that he's coming around this way. Even collecting the bomb is nigh on impossible. Flames now making it too hard. Tania in the back lines, and we are tied all up. Money not going to be an issue for Apeks. Even if it is a slight concern for Forze, who had the double AWP, won't have that into this round. Forze still fighting into this series.
I don't know why you bought double AWP and then your primary AWP has pushed all the way through ramp into spawn. Like, that should have been a rifler. I'm not going to question it. But I'll tell you something, this is breaking point right now for the CT side. They lose this round, or they win it with a lot of casualties. There's still every single chance this can go OT. But if Apeks convert this round, you're looking at them taking map 1 by a narrow victory.
Gonna hit onto A. Execute utility coming on through. Tania in a good position on the balcony. Spotted out by Sasigo. Still finds the kill and can't be traded because of the flames. Fukushima's very low, has to fall all the way back, and now they can isolate this spy, but Tania has found a double, almost 3. He's doing everything. HE not quite gonna go through. But this one player has completely halted this execute. Tania looking like he's locked in this round for Apeks. Although, Jacob is on the B bomb site. The issue is, how do you even get this bomb back? Tania dodging every piece of utility, every bullet, and the entire squad from Forze is here to defend.
If you're JChem, you gotta not even take this kill, it feels like, onto Result. You need a couple.
Oh, what an angle though from Result.
Oh yeah, you can't. It's too difficult. It gets undone instantly. Surely you save this. If you're Apeks, you got to run away. You got to concede. You got to just try and secure this AWP. That might not even happen. 4 alive is best case scenario for this CT side. I like the fact that they're just giving AKs, they're upgrading themselves. They're not fighting. They're not forcing to push the issue. It's very sensible. You can let them live. It doesn't matter. Nort can't drop an AK. Stiko can't drop an AK. Sense can't buy one. He'll have to be on a Mac 10. He'll have to be on a Galil if he wants utility. Maybe Nort can drop him something. There we go.
Yeah, a little rough, isn't it? Tania solo winning that round for them. Like, no Molotov, just like a single molly would have undone him, which is crazy to me that it just wasn't a consideration. Or if it was too late. Apeks are in a position to close this out. 13 to 11, but now it looks like that might be done to them as Nort gives up the first kill. Sense is spotted. Jacob is in a nice little boost position and might be able to catch timing, but again, it feels like it's too late to have the impact they want. And they're considering it as well. Gokushima's holding Murder Hole.
Well, he was. Oh, Tania accounts for it. Now you've got Palace, now you've got Ram. Celts are spotted. They know that Tania is here, but he has been thriving underneath the Palace. Gokushima will lock it in. Forze take their map pick. And I was concerned about it when we saw it on the Veto. But once again, Apeks fail to win a map of Mirage. Forze, by the narrowest of margins, are just about able to close it out.
Yeah, that perfect record for Apeks of no wins this year continues, so not going to be changing today, unfortunately. Forze, what a resurgence towards the tail end. I felt like Apeks were really in control of that T-side for quite a while there. I think, you know, there was a few very close rounds, but there was, what, 5 in a row from Apeks, and it felt like that second last round was their moment to close it. It was like not even the best buy coming out from Forze, and if Apeks had won that, it would have completely reset their economy, but Tania, the hero, gotta be said. He really comes through clutch in that round, in the final round as well, and that's enough to get Forze over the line.
Yeah, Celta as well was incredible over towards Connector. We had Gokushima as the player to watch, but ultimately he didn't really have to do too much. He wasn't really needed. When it mattered, it came down to Shalfi, who was performing really well. It was also just, as I said, Celta in Connector. It felt like they could not win a fight, Apeks, in Connector against Celta, which is why they had to go towards B. Which is why they had to go for these extremities. They could not progress through the middle of the map, all because of that player.
Yeah, and you got to say as well, Jacob, who is kind of the rifling star in the squad, he was really struggling to find the impact that would normally be felt, particularly on, I feel, even on a map like Mirage.
Yeah.
So yeah, a bit unfortunate that he had a bit of a slow start. Not definitely hitting his shots, but the whole package wasn't quite there, whereas it definitely felt like it was for Forze. We saw Gokushima's stats pop up for a moment there. He was our player to watch. He wasn't really the big factor. In fact, a few little mistakes from him, but at the end of the day, the rest of the team stepped up around him.
Yeah, of course. Now we have Ancient coming up next, and for Forze, it's familiar territory, but for Apeks, it's always been their staple. Will Apeks bounce back, or will this be 2-0 going in favor of Forze? We'll find out just after this. Back in, everyone, then, with the second map about to get underway. And the way we framed this, Lucy, was that Ancient should always be Apex's map to lose, to be honest. They've been doing very good on it. It came very close on Mirage, but this is a map they feel more comfortable in. It's a map they've got more reps in. Importantly, it's a map that they've won. So it should be Apex's map here, which means that we are potentially heading to a decider. But it's up to Forze to stop that. Have looked pretty hit and miss on this map, but mind you, they look pretty hit and miss on Mirage, and yet they come up with the goods there. So I mean, there's every chance on them potentially taking this in two, but the way I'm kind of positioned right now, I don't think that's happening.
Yeah, I mean, if they bring the same sort of gameplay they brought, that kind of hyper-aggressive T sides, you know, really kind of setting the tempo early and not allowing Apeks to get comfortable and to play their sort of defaults out, then yeah, I could definitely see Forze providing the upset, but it's not been the best map for them. You know, recently when they played Veto in that best of 5, they got 3 rounds, so yeah, it's not been a good spot for them. But hey, look, I'm willing to be surprised. I'd love to see them provide the upset, but it does feel like this series is going to overpass as that decider, but there's all the chance that Forze can continue to disrupt here, and particularly if Apeks are feeling a little out of sorts. We saw Jacob was struggling a little bit. Nork not though, and I will say Nork on Ancient, I've got plenty of memories of highlight moments from him on this map, so if he continues, then it could be a quick map.
Yeah, that is true. Look, I feel like also Sassanito, another player that's historically really good on Ancient, and a player that was struggling normally for Forze on Ancient specifically is Tanir, but he wasn't on Mirage, which makes me think, okay, well, if he's got that confidence, maybe from the first map, you then go into Ancient, there's every chance here that Forze can step up, but it relies a lot on the riflers really elevating their game, because you know you're going to get a good result here out of Gokushima, especially on a map that really lends itself to the AWP like Ancient. So it's kind of these core riflers kind of butting heads, and whether they can support their AWP. That's the main question. That's the talking point. It is Apex's map pick, so you imagine they'll be starting on the T side. Forze immediately on this defense, and a collection of dual Berettas.
Yeah, 2 players each side of the map for the CTs, although Shelfie will come over to support B. Apeks are very spread out. They're kind of looking for a bit of aggression. She's going to have the good angle here, and Siko swings to try and punish. Good damage done, but Result has found the opener over at B. Nork walks in towards middle. He's found a good timing. No, he hasn't. Result. Oh, deleted by Nork. Let's look at some more. Shelfie spotted, and another player deep in towards long. Nork's just danced with them all, waiting for his teammate to come on through, and yeah, Apeks have devastated them on this pistol. Nork not even caught. Stiko's providing Overwatch, and Celta is in CT spawn, unable to do a thing.
That's really nice from Apeks. The entry just into A, but not revealing themselves to the point where Gokushima can have impact with the dual Berettas, and then instantly just causing rotates, which allows then Nork to activate. The first kill on the player that scales out of ledge is just disgusting, and from there it really opens the door for Sense just to walk up uncontested in towards B, is able to kill the long player that's staring right at Nork, who's creating so much doubt in Forze's mind of where Apeks are ultimately going to end up. It's a great pistol, and it's one in which we already see an eco coming out from this CT side. They're pushing A. They're doing so with a lot of gusto and pace. This might have even been heard. Stiko is moving over with the bomb. He's holding, trying to lock things down with the Galil. We'll say if he drops the bomb here, that's where it gets scary, but they're not ready for him.
There's a flashlight in Result's hands. I wonder if that's now going to be sent in towards middle for these players just to push on through. And then maybe there's a world where they could catch these players off guard, but no, it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Although, the bomb's in Donut, so you're walking to where all of these players were just spotted. And they all group back up. There's certainly going to be some damage inflicted by these CTs. The question is how much?
They're going to swing. They're going to take the fight. Result wins one out and hits the second headshot. The thing is, you could potentially evacuate, but you got to grab the bomb, and that's where JChem steps in. Again, read the weakness The vulnerability here in these pistol rounds the Forze have been showing. Potential for even more damage, but instead it's not. Still 2 kills, that's fine if you're Apeks. You're happy with that. You've got the Galils, you upgraded the MAC-10s into those rifles that dropped on the floor. And that's been a lot cleaner compared to previous outings, especially on Mirage.
Could have got a little scary when Resol gets that double kill. You think, oh dear, but Jacob was already on the flank through CT spawn. Nice couple of kills to Resol though will enable him to get some more util. Sense fighting very early into middle. Runs through the Molotov, looking for the fight into Donut, but there's a double up there. Second element not even required. Resol trying to slip in, but Jacob continuing to be a menace. A start for him. After, as you mentioned, quite Mirage.
Thing for Apeks is, yet again, they know that Forze are going to go aggressive because they're gonna look for info. Instead, this smoke is actually very nicely placed from Tanir because it means the rotations can come over and they can try and lock out one area of the map individually. This buys a lot of time. It means that Shalfi has walked over. The issue is utility for this CT side. They have absolutely nothing to contend with executes. Although, that being said, there's only a molly and a flash on the side of Apeks. It's going to be a brawl.
Yeah, that was your execute. This is just walking straight up the ramp. And with 2 players here out towards long, they're having to take the fights, doubling up for the swing. Jacob wants to trade back. They are coming through caves. They've got some control. Stico can plant, but it's going to be uncomfortable. Post-plant difficult. There's a smoke for Celta that he can use to isolate an angle. Stico, though, just fighting from behind default. It's doubled up. He's looking for more. Stico on a tear with 3. What looked like a good position for the retake from Forze has fallen completely flat. Celta's sticking around, but he has to run. He's being hounded by Jacob. A smoke just to enable a getaway, perhaps. Apeks somehow able to get this round despite losing the advantage early.
That's Stico taking fights on his terms. That's the experience shining through there. Also not ready to really deal with the players on site. You can see, even though they were at long and they were able to get the initial kill, they weren't confident on swinging on the players. They had unconfirmed info at Cave. They didn't know about B ramp. The players that are on A are so disjointed from the rest of the pack, and that kind of puts you on limbo if you're on the B bomb site waiting to retake, waiting for these players to get in position. So all you can do is hold an angle and just hope you're able to hit your shot. Instead, it's Stico. Triple. Coming in clutch and triples up for Apeks as well. Utility not here for Forze once more. Money not in the greatest state of affairs. Will be this Force buy and will be a push down B. Sassanito hoping and finding at least the first kill. And look at Red again.
Oh, almost. Okay, yeah, he is dealt with. They're bursting towards A. They found the kill on the Celta. Oh, Gokushima, what a shot. What a kill on the Stico. And Sense is low. It was just one rifle with upgraded pistols around it. It looks like they're going to get it done. Sense is going to get run down. 3 from Gokushima. He didn't even have armor into that round. But it's going to get 4s on the board.
That drive-by shot into Red was just so pivotal in turning the tides of this round from Forze. And then from there, it's the donut player that is lying in wait on this bomb site that catches, doesn't get the kill, but does significant damage. And from there, Apeks starts to feel uncomfortable. The walls are already closing in before they've even been able to place the bomb on the site. Being picked apart one by one. Force by will prevail. No AWP for Nork. But there is one for Gokushima. Let's see how it pans out. These fights into mid have always been in favour of this T side, and it's set to continue again. Everyone's blind, but Celta steps up, as he did in Connector. Middle is his domain. Might even find another, but Nork will at least trade. It's a 3-on-3. But the difference this time for Apeks is they don't have any map control.
I can't believe Salter gets that second kill there. I feel like he was not seeing a single thing. Flashbangs, smokes, chaos. But headshots. Now 3v3 as Apeks pause for a moment, seeing if there's any aggression coming out. But it doesn't look like Forze are going to move. Resalt's got a nice angle if they walk through Donut. So they're just covering off every position at the moment.
They are, but it's spread. Fortunately, look, Tanir's got a smoke, which he can use to delay. Gokushima the same over at A. There will be this bomb site over at B, in which Apeks look to operate in. No smokes for them. So again, it has to be contact. Resalt now scales into mid, and that creates the timing for Tanir to drop the smoke. 30 seconds. This looks pretty good for the side of Forze.
Resalt's going to be in a good position, but Tanir gets deleted. He needed to stay alive. Resalt's going to arrive at a good time, but 2 versus 3. The Orf is isolated as well. Not giving up the fight to Resalt. They know this is an opening in the map. You might be able to find a gap to walk out. Can't find Sasanito. Gokushima immediately has to save.
It was so good until Tanir overextends. He doesn't need to be holding the line that aggressively in long. You understand why, because he's trying to spot out these players. But at the same time, you can still play retake. Resalt is not in a position to grab and find anything over at Shelf. He's so far away from walking to cave. He's got to clear all of those angles. That's always unknown for Forze. Fortunate for Apeks, they don't get spotted by Resalt jumping up. But at the same time, Tanir did not need to be that overexposed. And ultimately, that completely costs Forze the chance of even making that one look competitive. Apeks survive. They're grouping with numbers. And this is the first round where they've really got all of the utility. They didn't find the Orcs. Gokushima saved. But at least they've got all the tools of the trade at their disposal in this one.
Yeah, Forze won the round that they did get with less. They're getting aggressive in towards Jaguar. Moltov's going to tickle the toes of Tanir. Tries to get tricky around it. Gokushima getting aggressive. Nice shot into Nork. He's playing around that angle, seeing if he could bait out of position, and finds himself a bullet between the eyes. Gokushima's being dynamic. Knows he has to be Salter. The timing couldn't have been worse. The distraction from A main causes him to turn and shake and sound Gokushima. Apeks snapping back.
It's a lot better. Needs to go A main here with the bomb. Can't go elbow. Should be okay. Just about. It's scary. Just look at the mini-map and all the dots that are closing in, but that may have even been heard. No, it hasn't been. Doesn't matter. 5-7 on AK. Sasanito locks it in. Middle of the map is a big weakness for Forze. If they don't win the fights early, they really concede the space. And as a result, Red Room, yet again, an open point. You can see that Celta's attention is completely divided by all of these different angles. It's so difficult for him to worry also about A, but Donut, middle. There's so many different things he has to consider. Unfortunately, for him, looks the wrong way. What I will say is, if you are a Forze fan, I wouldn't worry just yet. Because notoriously on Ancient, their CT side is not good. It's the T side in which you can get excited in. With that being said, they need to establish a foothold and they need to give themselves something to work with in this first half. A pause not only for thought, but also just to kind of reset a little bit for 30 seconds. These rounds have been frustrating because it feels like every time you turn around, Apeks is shooting you in the back. That can't happen going forward if you're Forze.
Yeah, it almost feels like the way that Forze are playing the two-sided Mirage in terms of just the timings that Apeks are getting and just how quick the kills come in relation to each other. It's quite funny because Apeks are getting, you know, absolutely destroyed in their CT side of Mirage to the same sort of plays. Behind the flames, can't find his kills. Sassanito though, always ready for the trade. These mid fights, surprisingly, Apeks is finding at least some space off the back of them, even if they don't win them out. Sassanito scooped on through, can't find the kill. Tania was wary, considering it. There's a lot of bodies over at B.
Looks like they're going to commit to this. It looks like they're still going to fight forward anyway. At the very least, they've drained out the smokes. There's no utility now for this CT side, so Apeks can take this anywhere. Gokushima's got one smoke, and that is it for just over a minute of play. And Gokushima's that player that loves to get involved. He really likes an aggressive push. At least they have Celta in Donut. But for 50 seconds, Apeks, with the only control they've got, you imagine this is going to be the B exec.
Forze's setup looks too strong. It's going to be difficult for Apeks to fight into this. Sharpie's mollied off so they can isolate these players. They found Gokushima. Difficulty is, how do you deal with Cave? No way to now deny anyone from fighting out from it. No smoke, no molly, but bullets for one. Tania, that extra presence is dealt with, or deals with him, sorry. And Nork, again in a clutch. Spam, not quite going to connect on him, but he's running out of time. Trying to fake it out, trying to bait in this swing, and it will come to him. But it's not favorable. And Forze will get their second round.
That's really clever from Xiaofi, just in the middle of that, because he sells his life to guarantee the kill and also guarantee the round win for Forze. Because you take a look at the way that Xiaofi's moving, notice how Tania is never peeking. Xiaofi takes the first engagement with the molly, he gets the kill. And you've got players that are locking off this Jaguar position being Tania. And then what happens is, you can tell just by the way that Sense is positioning, he's worried about another player being long, another player being short, is caught looking the wrong way. So what Xiaofi does is incredible, because he pushes out of cave. He's then very loud about his approach on the bomb site. He's always also moving, just to kind of give the illusion that he's the only one here. He kind of needs to stand and deliver to fight. But no, there's Tania in the back who swings immediately, gets the guaranteed trade, limits the space for Apeks, and then Nork is completely alone. He can't do anything in that situation. So good response, but once again expensive. Just comes down to 2 players for Forze staying alive.
That foothold can start though. Critical round for Forze's CT side. Shelby, ooh, just about staying alive. Sassanito peering over the top of the ledge. Not going to spot anything out. And this control is being conceded very willingly by Forze in towards middle. Yeah. Very passive from Xiaofi in red room.
What's good, though, is I've actually got someone in red room, because that has not been happening. Jump spot, uh-oh. Look on the angle. Oh, just sees the head top just running back and forth. Doesn't take the shot, but it looks like he's also been noted by Xiaofi. So there are players in mid. Flashbang over the top. J-Chem needs to be careful, flirting with the idea of death. Instead, not to be the case. Xiaofi knows he cannot peek that right-hand side because of the orb.
Just going to reset over towards V. It's where they got the space. Despite... Oh, Sticker just walks out. Tries to catch a timing in through a main. Meanwhile, Sassanito is spotted in towards Jaguar. So again, it's a 3 versus X as they enter into the side. The bomb drop forward. Jacob gets 1, but Tania is standing strong. And again, it's Nork. With smoke in his face, he just has to save. This is Forze's round.
Good decision by Xiaofi as well in this. As we see Nork fall into the orb. Just by not peeking, but also disengaging. More often than not, with the amount of pressure and bodies that they're wearing towards mid, you'd forgive Apeks for thinking that Xiaofi would be staying in red room. Because that's always been the key point of contention that the T side have operated in. What's different about this is that Apeks hadn't scaled initially. Also, Forze had a player in Donut that was able to support. And as soon as Xiaofi disengages, the Donut player comes and boosts. It's very good to see because it's good awareness of the map, and it's basically committing to the idea that if they concede mid, it doesn't matter because the crossfires on the site would ultimately reign supreme. That's something in which Forze have been finding a lot of success in. This A play is dangerous though because it is just Gokushima and he's only got an AWP.
What is going to come over? Just as they come through, Gokushima gets first and falls back. Tania steps in successfully with the quad kill. Forze will easily deal with these pistols that try to burst in towards A, so they can't get onto 4. Just one within equalizing, and given Apeks started so strong into this, these gun rounds starting to look like they're going more Forze's way than Apex's. Feels like, given what you've said about their T side being stronger, they end up with 5. They'll be feeling pretty good, but 6 is a possibility.
It's because they varied up the timing of their aggression. It's been a lot more mid-round focused rather than fighting for mid early. You can see that Apeks is definitely wanting to do that. Celta drops a nade, doesn't see anyone initially. The fight out ledge for is dangerous for Tanir. He keeps going, has the flashbang support as Celta. At least that's the opening. He can now escape. Keep your eye on A. Never mind.
Yeah, Stiko kind of looked like he had a timing, right? But punished for it. An immediate response. Celta's going to come on over. Bomb's not committed yet. They're seeing if one of these players can find something. Oh, this is going to be a cool swing. Oh, Jacob still wins out the first fight, but trade is immediate. 2 versus 4. Mock's going to walk in towards middle with the bomb on his back. It's just this slither angle being held by Result. This should be a 3v4 here. Such a powerful angle. Looking for the second. Perfectly calculated. Only losing 1. Forze now tie things up.
Yeah, so this now is painful for Apeks. I'd like to see a pause here from them, not to discuss obviously Tech 9s, but to discuss just how they want to play their last gun round, because Forze are now not giving them the mid fights, and as a result, Apeks have to go hunting and searching for these opening kills. I feel like that lurk smoke play with Sasanito up B could be the outlet for them in one of these gun rounds. I say one of them, the only gun round they've got left. It'll be the A-pop instead. Gokushima yet again left completely alone. On the angle, we'll find the first. And yet again falls back. Oh, never mind. Gokushima looking for a highlight moment. But all the time he spent just delaying these players means that Result can step in alongside all of the other players. In fact, it might just be Result.
That second kill was insane from Gokushima.
I didn't expect it.
Yeah, that must have been, like, you can see, it wasn't a wallbang. Like, it wasn't through the box. It must have just been the finest margin he was able to hit that player jumping over. Great double kill from Gokushima, and Forze take the lead. Apeks call a timeout, so the last round and a half is going to commence, but Forze feel like they've got all the momentum with them right now.
B is the vulnerability. I feel like if you're Apeks and you just smash the B bomb site after you've shown presence in towards mid, that's the way in. Because their contact plays up the ramp, they've been winning those fights 9 times out of 10. They just need to keep the attention of the player in mid, and that's normally Xiaofi, for long enough to the point where there's only 2 players on B. They could even just go for a straight pop out the gate. I wouldn't be against that. But that's where they need to go. B is definitely the area of contention, because Forze have patched up the gap in mid, and that's not really being a source of success anymore for Apeks.
Second draw coming into play, but not for long. Not for long at all, Jacob. He's done. He wants this 6 for Apeks, and he might just have done it single-handedly. That is the complete opening of the left-hand side of the map. Sense also finding his fight onto ramp, and finally Apeks off to a good start. Certainly should be getting the 6th round. Gokushima's even known in towards cave. Giving opportunities.
That's the bomb.
You're in a 5v2. Just group up and go A. You found 2 kills there.
I don't think you clear this if you're Steeko.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's so smart as well. Tinea smokes off the door. And this enables Gokushima to remain here this little bit longer. You don't anticipate an AWP to be in this corner. Will the scope and the barrel protrude around the corner? Yes, it will. Okay, so that is a way forward. Tinea might just leave. Instead, he wants to fight. 30 seconds left. There's still chances for Apeks here. And he's shown that he's more than willing to hang around here.
Smoke 4, he seems to slash bang in. Oh, it's a good flash. Oh, it's a good shot too, Tinea. 2 versus 5. One more bullet, but Nork saves it in the end, and Apeks will tie it up 6 apiece.
Back in the action then, 6 rounds each, half shared, and already bullets. Dink for Steeko and Forze, they are running it into Red Room. It's every single player looking to barrel and capitalize on the opportunity. And another dink as well. This time it's finished off. Steeko in the close corner, already dealt with and decimated by these Glocks. Gokushima waiting in the back lines will potentially cut off this rotation from Sasanito. And Tanier can even take the contact. This pistol is dominant.
There is still a player in A main. With bomb planted and no kit, this is so difficult. Sassanito can't even get out. As you mentioned, that crossfire is potent. Now Jacob is known and dealt with. Blistering pace from the pistol. Forze are going to get to 7, get in the lead. Will Nork find anything? One. Wouldn't mind another. There it is. Nice shot. Eventually dealt with. Great pace from Forze, and that was kind of their gameplay on Mirage. And mentioned that I expect to see a continuation of that pace here. Let's start strong with the pistol.
Not just insta. Like the dink on Stico, and there's the dink on Sense that immediately gets followed up with another headshot. They're ready. They're raring to go. Will now be this eco. Yeah, this gets dangerous. This is where it gets dangerous for Apeks. You're a map down. This is Forze's stronger side. And they were able to fight and put up a resilient CT half after being down the deficit as well. Stacking donut. It's not a nice fill-in, but Forze are going to completely avoid it anyway. It's a scale through cave. Shafi will drop a smoke. Result will deem that it's pretty clear in just a couple of seconds. And, yeah, well, this is the round done.
Just in case anyone's going to pop through a smoke. Not going to happen. This is where Shelfie wants to try and hunt, but it might be Salt's AK that's under threat. You'd love to pick that up and hold on to it if you can. But I don't think that's going to happen. Now Shelfie will charge on through. The Mac-10 can try and get these remaining players, pick up the AK. Yeah, you're not saving Jacob. Sorry to say. That one gets upgraded. Yes, yeah. So all you lose is a Mac-10.
And that's fine. I like the fact Goku Shiba didn't peek at the end there. He's just shooting his gun just to enable Shelfie to get 600 for the kill reward. First gunny would argue it's a bonus for Forze, but it's not whatsoever. Like, this feels great. Only a couple of the Galils in the mix. For Apeks limited utility, they prioritized all of the M4s. That comes as a consequence. And in mid as well, look at that damage. Immediately off the back of the nades. The Forze. It's Route 1 traffic. They want to go A.
Yeah, that double nade set is brutal, isn't it? And that's going to mean you've now got this double up in mid for a little bit longer. So Stico is under threat, but able to strike first. Yet to be traded out, is eventually dealt with, but does a lot of damage onto Result. So a 4v4, and they are going to commit. Smoke comes through to CT. They've got a good position in towards middle as well. A swing through from Jacob, trying to overwhelm, but Result is sharp. And a re-smoke in towards CT. You've just got these guns out. Senses low, you've got no kit. Do you really want to give this a look in?
Apparently so, because you know that Result and Tanier are quite low. But no kills being given over in the first couple of seconds, that will mark the retreat. And this is a wise call. This is a good one to make if you're Apeks. I didn't mind the idea of sticking around, but it's just the case of how long is it before you got to kind of hold up the white flag and give it over. That'll be 9, and that's your first gun round already dealt with. Sure, there'll be follow-up, there'll be resistance in this next one, but Forze currently, it feels like they're running away with it. Sense even dies to the bomb explosion. He's on B, for goodness sake.
Yeah, dies in short. That's actually really rough that he dies. And yeah, it's sticking around a little bit too long, right? If you've been able to get further, they're still going to get a buy up, but Stico draws the short end of the stick because of the lack of money. He'll let the MP9 in a smoke to hold on to the A-bomb site. Nork has no util. And the last timeout is called.
But the thing is as well, where can you go? If you're Forze, you can go anywhere. Your pistol, you went mid. You anti-eco, you went B. First all gun round, you got A. It's unpredictable. If you're Apeks in a situation like this, where you've got limited utility, but you've got the weaponry, it wouldn't surprise me to cheat a third player over to B early, rather than fighting for mid, because you know that the potential of maybe those double nades coming out is a very high likelihood. I wouldn't mind a stack. Instead, they're going to split the difference. 2 on A. With a player in Donut that can come support middle.
The ledge HE stack. Slightly disjointed. This one had been there, they would have been hurt. Double up. In towards Jaguar. Nice little bait set up, but the Molotov could cause issues. Goes to the left side. So they're both still here, and okay, well, Sense deals with both players. No issue. Assassinito not even needed.
And that was really lackadaisical from Forze. It just felt like they were going through the motions with their utility and not ready for players to be there. You can see that the player that swung wasn't spotted on the def cam. So Assassinito is still an unknown element. That flashbang misses as well, so Tanir can't swing. And the spray, you don't know if that's Sense or if that's another player there. You'll hear one reload. And finally, Celta will be able to overwhelm. Sense also dealt with. A 2-on-3. Gokushima now posts long. J-Chem walks straight into the angle. Fortunately enough, there's some respite. But it is Gokushima thrown into this clutch.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Exactly the amount of bullets he needed. 1 versus 1. Can't go A though. No time. Oh, wait a second. Nork didn't realize he didn't have the bomb. Nork starts to go over towards A, thinking it's a ruse, and that's going to allow Gokushima to plant. A complete misread. And again, Forze from the deficit. They were in a 3 versus 5. 2 clean kills to open, and Gokushima just needs 1 to close. Nork, did he spot him? Surely he did. Down the ramp he goes. Nork taps the bomb and swings. Orphanham spam down to 2 HP. Time and issue the HE even more so. Boom from Gokushima. And Forze win a round they had no right winning.
What a clutch from Gokushima. The fact that he has just enough bullets in the mag to get rid of Stiko. The fact that the bomb is out of the B doors completely misdirects Nork. And then Gokushima's decision to commit to the spam and then following up with the nade is perfect. Nork fires off that AWP. Can only shoot 1 bullet at a time. It is not enough. And that is a fumble from Apeks. And that inspires in the ranks for this T side. So much so that Shalfie goes on his own out mid.
Yeah, I mean, that's not even the first time Apeks have kind of fumbled these situations. They were able to just about recover it in the last round of the half, right? That was a 2v5 that Forze almost pulled off. This one's a 3v5, so a little bit more forgiving. Gokushima, we highlighted him as a player to watch, and he's shown why. Shelfie and Result opening it up. Forze are in cruise control.
Yeah, this is kind of done. I'll be honest. You can't. The thing is, you can buy if you're Apeks, but do you want to buy? You're saving double FAMAS. You're going to go into this next round, and again, it'll be the conversation piece of weaponry over utility, or taking more FAMASs to be able to afford the nades. This is horrible. This is absolutely horrible for Apeks. And it's been 5 rounds in a row from Forze. Imagine if they won that 2 versus 5 that you were mentioning. This would be 12. This would be series point. Instead it's 11. Instead it's a tiny little bit of breathing room. Stiko cannot afford to lose this FAMAS, and he does.
1 FAMAS goes into this round. Can't even pause.
You've got to play for OT. You have to play for OT.
There's no other option. Otherwise, it's what? FAMAS is into the final round? Oh, brutal. They are going to force? No? Yes, half-five. with full loss bonus, they'll still have enough into the next, so this can still be threatening.
It can be. I want to see them get aggressive. Look, you've got to kind of take risks now, especially in moments like this. You've overwhelmed Forze. Think back to the double setup that was in Jaguar, where they were able to get these kills. This time it might come in through A main, but it's Gokushima lying in wait on the other side. These players push in. It's all about timing the shadow. It's been spotted, and it's been dealt with by Forze. They've cracked open A immediately. The bomb can reposition over, and Resol's even doing further damage on the B players. That's going to keep them locked in. Sassanito survives with about half of his life total. Well, the bomb site's conceded, and it has to be another save. Forze on series point.
Yeah, and Forze can afford to send bodies to try and hunt these rifles as well. You don't want to lose this all. That would be brutal. Oh, and I think you might lose it. Maybe not. How fast is Gokushima's flick?
Look at Sense just doing the shimmy.
He's dancing, isn't he?
Do.
Does he swing this? He knows the AWP will scoped up, yes? Oh, perfect. Yoink. That can't be denied either. That's actually a really valuable little kill for Sense to find.
Oh, that Molly's gone into pocket as well, whereas if it went over the top, Sassanito would have been dead. They're trying to hunt. They're trying to spam. Sassanito just about holding on. So we'll bring the AK forward. You're right, an incredibly valuable save, but it needs to be turned into just perfect Counter-Strike. Apeks cannot make a mistake, something they've been prone to doing all series long. Forze have got so many chances to close. They've also got such a bank balance in which they can just keep investing. This is hard. This is so difficult for Apeks to try and claw their way out of.
Nice boost. For a fast fight in towards lane, but it's straight A. Big pace as well. Smoke's come down. Stealth is low, but he's done his job. Somehow still surviving. Bomb yet to be planted, and Nork has found a kill. Jakin catches Tania on a alert, maybe a little bit too early. And a great blow in the smoke. Sense gets one back. And the stealth is so low. Shalfie has to do everything, and he's getting further peppered from the spawn. EFS look like they should remain fighting.
All they're worried about is Forze leaving and going B, which is why Sense is just jiggling, also jumping over these smokes, but Nork on the line at Temple is perfect. Shalfie can't progress further, and now they can start to close the gap. Self's going to be caught in just a matter of moments here. Can't find a kill, and that guarantees that this player is still in A. And the Wally even locks it in. Good survival. Instincts from Apeks. Just making sure they remain, but we've spoken about the money. It's still here for this T side.
Yeah, I think Forze were a little too eager on a few of the moves there. One, in terms of how fast they were to plant the bomb, but also the activation of Tania's lurk was way too early.
Yeah.
It was before the bomb, the bomb never got planted. So Tania's meant to come through as the late round kind of closer. Instead, he's trying to get active before his players on A have even set up. So, slightly disjointed. Gives Apeks a lifeline. And Nork continues it with a nice kill onto Gokushima.
Oh, Celta versus Sense. Spotted by Sense. Vital kill. Just trying to reimagine this CT side for Apeks. Shalfie's also made a step. That's been heard, which is why Nork comes over. 5 alive here is everything. But instead, it's 2 deaths immediately. Why did I say anything? Deep smoke into CT. Resalt knows he's got B on lock. You have to worry about mid, though. It's going to be an afterplant. It has to be a retake now. 2
versus 5. Oh, they're so worried. Oh, but maybe this is actually going to come out to work for them. How does Tania cross? Oh, the 2 versus 2. Oh my god, they're going to do it like this. They couldn't do it to close out the half, but they might just close out the series. 2 on 5, and Resol with a quad kill does it for Forze. An unbelievable way to close it. The Forze dominate Apeks on Ancient.
how Result finds those first 2 kills. He just snaps onto the player at B ramp, and from there, you kind of feel like the Forze are just so worried about the scaling from Shelf, but instead they fight it together. They get 2 kills each, and then Result just remains. What a round from him, but what a series from Forze. It gets close on Mirage. We're worried about that punish pick, and then Ancient is a completely different story. And we did say, do not give Forze time to work on that CT side, because they will punish you on the attack, and that is exactly what they did.
I'm so surprised that the level of play they brought out on Ancient. It felt like Apeks, this is one of their best maps, and they just couldn't really get it going. And the amount of rounds that they got early advantages and then lost. I mean, the last round, the key one, but multiple rounds where they were getting openings, they were doing a lot of damage early and just couldn't close it, and Forze were able to fight their way back through. Massive credit to what Forze displayed in the server today. We mentioned coming into this that this is a must-win game for them, given that their run so far in Challenger League in terms of wanting to place it in a higher seeding. So they showed their best game today, and it was great to see.
Yeah, of course. Look, player to watch. We've been speaking about him quite a lot. Gokushima stepped up a lot in that game, but it wasn't just him. It was the whole team. Everyone was really close together on Forze. It was a solid team effort, and we kind of painted the picture. This needed to be the kind of the play from Forze. Everyone needed to step up. It was the riflers of Forze against the riflers of Apeks, because we knew the AWPs would always succeed. This time, Nork went a bit absent. Gokushima reinstated what we're used to seeing from him, and as a result, that is just an incredibly one-sided game. And it felt like those man advantages that Apeks were throwing away, that didn't just happen on Ancient, that also happened on Mirage. There are rounds in which communication were breaking down. This team needs a reset, needs a break, and that's kind of why I framed it. The Forze, this is the perfect time to play this team, especially when you need a win. 2-0 though, and winning Ancient like that, unheard of. They're very impressed.
Yeah, it's got to feel great for Forze, going against one of the favorites in their group in the entirety of Challenger League, and to do it so dominantly. You got to put a little asterisk on Apeks at the moment in terms of, we did set that the stage that obviously they've just come off the major where they didn't have the result they were hoping for. They're not going to be in their best state. You mentioned me needing a little bit of a reset, and yeah, I think with some time that they'll have that. But yeah, this one doesn't go the way that I'm sure that they would have hoped, but I imagine they've got a lot on their plates at the moment, and it's not over yet as well. You got to remember, this isn't like an elimination game. We're still in the early stages. We're still in the group stage of Challenger League. It's the opening stage. Even if you bottom out all your games in this stage, you'll go through to the lower bracket seeding and you'll still stay alive.
Yeah, no, of course. Look, there's still plenty more games to play, and it's important to kind of recognize that, and ultimately you are still making it through. It's just kind of where you rank, as you mentioned. Look, this isn't all the matches done for today. Of course, you've got that Monte System 5 game coming up later. Predictions are just flashed up on the screen. Say that I'm right. Cool. Thank you, production. Appreciate it. But yeah, I think, to be honest, Lucy, I think that is it just from us right there. I expected 3 maps. I wanted 3 maps. Instead, we get a really close battle on Mirage, and then Ancient. It is just a completely different story.
Yeah, I think that's going to be it for us today. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back for more action later with the B stream continues with Monty versus System B, but that's going to be all for now. So take a break, have something to eat, come back in a few hours for some more ESL Challenger action, and yeah, see you later.